Hey, everybody. So I'm here today to, uh, I want to talk a little bit about what occurred the other day in the Capitol and feelings that people might have about that. So first and foremost, I'm going to post something in the comments below about how to contact your House representative and your senator if you want to take a stand for sharing about Donald J. Trump being removed from office and be held accountable for what occurred in the Capitol the other day. So that's the part of doing your part out in the world. And then I want to talk about what you can do to support yourself with all the feelings that you may be experiencing related to that. My goal, the work that I do with people is always about how do I, if something outside of me brings up a lot of emotions and feelings, how do I work with that? How do I support myself? Especially when it feels like there's nothing you can do. It's like, you know, there's nothing we can do sitting at home as we're watching the Capitol building be uh, overrun by insurgents. And so I was really looking at the feelings that it was bringing up inside of me around um, how scary that felt to watch people climbing the walls, to watch people walk around the Capitol with such bravado and machismo and this sense of like I own the place and putting their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk and standing in the on the House floor or the Senate floor. I can't remember which one it was. Like taking selfies on the day that we're, you know, um, that they're certifying the votes, the electoral college votes. That feeling as I watched people chase one of those security guards up the stairs, like there was nothing he could do. Like this sense of like there's this overcoming power that we can't um, deal with. There's nothing we could do to stop it. It's coming, and it felt scary at a very base level. And so I know that there's besides anger and shock at like that happened in our, that happened in our country. It's also like it can stir up a lot of feelings about times in your life where that you've felt those things or you've been scared that that could happen to you. As a woman walking down, the street at night, like worrying that like, oh, there's someone coming down the street towards me. Is this something I need to work? Like it brought up feelings like a really base form of lack of safety, lack of there's nothing I can do to stop this, feeling powerless, feeling out of control, like watching those senators laying on the floor, or congresswomen and men laying on the floor of their seats, like terrified as, they're banging on the doors or there's police standing there with guns, pointed at people. Um, and then also the feelings around how freaking unfair it is that all these white people are walking into that, or that are overtaking the Capitol and knowing that if those were black or brown people, that it would have been like carnage, like total destruction. And the feeling of unfair, how unfair that is and how wrong it is and how um, unjust and all of those feelings. So, who's with me feeling all those things? So, how do we work with those feelings? How do we support ourselves? We want to like acknowledge that we have these feelings. So, getting them up and out and being able to talk about them is great. And sharing your outrage and hearing all of that is great. But to really support yourself in those moments, it's like okay to take a moment and just be like, first and foremost, I'm safe. Here I am. I'm okay. And then also just really being with the part of you inside that has those feelings. So there's a part of you. So who we are authentically is this as authentic, our authentic self is the part of us that's connected, that's authentic nature, is loving, is kindness, is compassion, is um, strength and wholeness and truth and all of those things, compassion. So that's who we are authentically. And then we have parts of us that have experienced trauma or have experienced just have feelings about um, that have come up as part of our past that sometimes then get activated when circumstances out in the world start to show up. So, for example, I don't know why my eye's watering. I'm not crying. My eye just keeps watering. Um, so, for me, I was feeling really powerless and frightened by the audacity, by the meanness, by the cruelty, by the bravado, by the you can't stop me. Um, Feeling that I had as I watched them overtake the House and in Congress. So for me, it's like I gotta be with that part of me that was deeply, affected, deeply affected by that experience. And so it would be just like me being with myself and being like, "You're okay. We're safe. We're here in our house. Yeah, that's really scary." Like I talk to that part of me as if it's another person, like not to sound weird, but it's like what I found really works with myself, with other clients, is when you put it outside of you. I can see that that part of me is around 13 or 14, and she's a young woman who's out in the world and is starting to become aware of, cruelty and the way, um, just like lack of safety. And so I want to be with her, with that 14-year-old inside of me that's like feeling these things and talking to her and being like, I've got you. Yeah, that makes sense that that felt scary. Yeah. When they were chasing that guy up there and he couldn't do anything, that is really scary. Yeah, it is scary. And yeah, but you were safe. We're safe right here. Look around. We're okay. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay that you feel those ways and letting that part just have a voice, but also that it knows that I've got her. Like when I say I've got her, it sounds interesting, but as you learn to do this practice with these parts of you that start to get really triggered and affected, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the world and just even in our day to day lives when we get triggered. It's like the more we can show up in support of these parts of us, the more the more grounded we are, the more we can show up in the world, the more we can be both have our feelings, but not be like taken under by our feelings, not be overrun by our feelings. Um, yeah, and what I found in the work that I've had with people is that as we do this work with these parts of ourselves, then that part starts to calm down inside ourselves. That part starts to get like, oh, I'm safe. When I feel more safe, then I'm more free to be in my life. I'm less reactive. I'm more grounded. I'm more at peace. I feel safer. And so I just wanted to offer that to anyone out there who's just been feeling like overwhelmed by the feelings of all the stuff that they've been witnessing happening out in these final days of the Donald Trump administration. And so, yeah, if you ever need support with that, or you want to talk to someone, or you want to learn how to do that, just reach out to me. Just send me a message. And otherwise, just hope this was helpful. Be well.